Hi, it's Alistair at Electric Scotland. Just trying out this new camera I've got. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, but we'll have a look and see. I just wanted to talk to you a bit today about the lifestyle section on the Electric Scotland website. I think that the key to this one is that it's a kind of catch-22 area from my point of view. It's like, you know, I get information and I think, where am I going to put this? And there doesn't seem to be a particular section for it on the site, so it goes into lifestyle. I will say that I've got quite a lot of information up on various topics. For example, if you go to lifestyle and leisure, as it were, Scottish Studies is the first link. And on there we've got the Scottish Studies Foundation, which is what it's all about basically. And we talk about this, their Scottish Tradition publication, which comes out annually. We've got Scottish Studies newsletter, which is the Scots Canadian. We've got a video of the Scottish Studies Department. It's where David Hunter visits the Scottish Studies Department at the University of Guelph in 1993. And there's a whole ton of other stuff, you know, become a member of the foundation. They've got Scottish songs, focus on Guelph and Ontario, Centre for Scottish Studies, University of Guelph Library. I mean, a whole ton of stuff basically, which I think you'll enjoy. And it's got the aims of the foundation, so you get to know what its aims are. So on the whole, there's a lot of good reading material in there. We've also got another, which is a 2020 vision, and this is the Scottish Review's Young Scots of the Year 2019. These are generally young people between 20 and 30 years of age, and this is a bicentennial celebration of the 20 people in their 20s who are involved in remarkable work, and it was compiled by Barbara Miller. So, you know, I mean, they've got pictures of each of them there and what they're doing, and a nice little bio of them, and so, I mean, really good read that. We've got Lights and Shadows of Scottish Life. That's basically a PDF file. But again, if you were to read it, it's a selection from the papers of the late Arthur Austin, and he actually dedicates the book to Sir Walter Scott. But there's a whole bunch of information on there. Like, it's got the Lily of Liddesdale, Moss Side and Hour in the Manse, the Headstone, Sunset and Sunrise, A Lover's Last Visit, The Minister's Widow, The Snowstorm, The Elder's Deathbed, The Elder's Funeral, The Twins, The Poor Scholar, The Forget Forgers, and so on. So I mean, I've got The Shieling is another wee story in there. So it's about 400 pages in all, and it's a really good read. We've also got Police, Fire and the Law. Basically, this came about because it was pointed out to me when I did this one that we didn't really have any information on the police, fire and law. So now we've got a whole range of articles and books about it, from fairly current ones up to, I mean, I think if I have a quick look, we've got the Glasgow Police Museum, for example, goes up to 1975. We've got Higher Police Training in Scotland, 1968 that one is. 1944, the Scottish Police, an outline of their powers. And I mean, other ones in the 1800s, of course, you know, so a whole pile of nice wee articles in there, which you might well enjoy. We've got Churchmen and the Problems of Prostitution in 19th Century Scotland. That's by the Reverend Ian A. Muirhead. Again, an interesting story. It's a PDF file, that one. And then I've got Random Jottings of Brian Stephen Thompson, Reminders of Old Times in Scotland. So there's a couple of jottings in there. Got Scottish news sources, the famous Scottish haggis. The thing about the famous Scottish haggis is that it's got some interesting it's got an interesting video showing you how to make haggis. It's from Scotland, that one. But underneath there's a whole load of stories, like a message from Hamish the Haggis, and what is a haggis, and haggis from the ancient Romans, the Mary Celeste, the breeding habits of the haggis, haggis and the enterprising Scot, the haggis song, tales of Hamish Ian I Haggis QC, and Florida haggis law. We've got haggis or the world unite, and recipes for leftover haggis. So a miscellaneous stuff all about the haggis. We've got health, which is basically some good information on Scottish health and medicine, along with some really old texts on preventative health care. We've got Highland games and pipe bands from around the world. There's a wedding guide, small guide to help you organise your wedding, check who told who pays, and lots of interesting information about the special day. We've got writings of Albert Morris, quite a lot of stuff there, but basically it's a 5 days a week column, to be grave but gay in the old sense, pungent but subtle, learned but light, articles by the Scotsman's legendary feature writer Albert Morris from 29th of December 2001 to the 8th of April 2005. Thanks to John Henderson for putting all this together for us. So you may well enjoy having a read at a lot of these articles. Got Edinburgh Techniques, Intelligence, Stress and the Learning Process, and Accelerated Learning by Brian Hill. Scottish and Highland Dancing, some background in dance books. Gardening, here we give you an introduction to a few Scotland's native plants and their uses, as well as some gardening tips. Gift ideas for special occasions, a Gaelic language primer. Art, Scottish art and artists, as well as lessons on how to paint and draw. Education, a guide to Scottish education. Animals, a recollection of Scottish animals and pets. Scottish politics, our guide to Scottish politics and our political parties. It's quite old, that probably needs to be updated, that one, but that was accurate at the time. Safety guide, it's guidance given by the Home Office on safety issues and other links. Scottish clip art, a Highland home, showing you how a Highland home was built and furnished. But we've also got building, a Clan Davidson Highland house, instructions on how to build a model of a Highland house. We've also got building a Tulloch Castle model, instructions on how to build a model of Tulloch Castle. So these might be things you want to get to if you're self-isolating. Celtic cookery, bagpipes and Scottish dance, articles by Evan McVeigh. Scottish dress, an old Scottish dress, this is for the women. Pavement and highways, specimen days in Strathclyde by William Power, produced in 1911. Andrew Bruce's boats, Andrew age 12, send us in pictures of the fishing boats you can see in the northeast of Scotland. We've got Stirling Council elections 2007, there's the Bannockburn ward. Here we're looking at the process of trying to be elected in a council ward in Scotland, and in this case we're following Alistair McPherson, who will be fighting to become elected for the Bannockburn ward of Stirling Council on behalf of the SNP. We've got Targes. Targes is quite an interesting one. This was done by Pat McLean because he makes the targes and he sent us some photographs of his work. and giving a wee bit background to what they are all about. It's the round shields that the clansmen held when they were fighting in the old days. Some really good pictures there as well. A Scottish toast is an old placemat with a Scottish toast. You might want to maybe try and recreate that and make your own placemats at home with it on. Then we've got Linda Fabiani, MSP, and Christina McKelvey, MSP. Basically the idea was a working life of an MSP, and they both contributed various articles about their work. So, Linda Fabiani was quite a number of years ago. She did that. Christina McKelvey came after her. And then we got a couple of articles in from Tasmina Ahmed Sheikh, Superwoman mum and Bollywood actress, is putting law career aside to pursue political ambitions. Scots Independent newspaper, 80 years old. Got a few articles from the 80th anniversary issue. Grand Designs Out of Sky, a handbook of weather folklore, folklore of plants, letters from a gentleman in the north of Scotland to his friend in London. This was 1754. Scottish Eccentrics by Hugh McDermott. The Imperial Magazine, religious, philosophical, historical, biographical, topographical and general knowledge. Biographical sketches, 1852 to 1875. I've got Weird Tales, Scottish, in 1888. So, all in all, within that, there's a whole ton of reading. And some of it's quite informative, some of it's craft-led, some of it's food, and, well worth a wee read there. So I thought I'd just highlight. So, hope you enjoyed listening to that.